In this tutorial, we'll review the creation and management of Grevits in Monoliths of Terravia. Grevits are your ability to attack back. So just as your opponent is sending Grevits at you, as we see here on the gameplay screen, we can also send them back and attack our opponent. Grevits, the ability to send Grevits, are available in the versus boss mode and the multiplayer modes of Monoliths of Terravia. In the traditional wave mode, which is a traditional defensive desktop tower defense mode, you're only in a defensive mode and you won't be able to send Grevits. So they're already coming at me. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game here for a moment and talk about how the main display shows you some information about the Grevits. Down here on the bottom left in our primary HUD, we see 6 circles around our minimap. Now, as I mentioned, in the versus boss and the multiplayer mode, you'll see these circles, which are our Grevit generators. In the traditional game of defense only, you won't see these circles. And right now I see that all of these circles are empty, and they all say NA. That basically means I'm not sending any Grevits from my generators at this time. Now, it's very easy to get going with my Grevit generators. Starting in the top and going around to the right, the number keys 1 through 6 allow you to do a quick start on getting your Grevits going. So let me go ahead and come out of pause mode. I'm going to hit the number 1 key, and that will bring up my select a Grevit to be created dialog. Let's go ahead and review this for a moment. The first thing I'll want to do is select the discipline of Grevit that I'm interested in sending. So whether it's fire, or earth, or water, you can see that it presents a Grevit screen that I can highlight over and get a quick set of information about what type of Grevit that is, how much mana consumption. Let's go ahead and start, and we'll send this one. We're going to consume this much mana in Galvanite. I can get some statistical information about it, and I can tell what a particular Grevit is strong against from a discipline perspective and what they're weak against. So in this case, I've started sending my Bladagers in Grevit Generator 1. You can see over here that they're starting to go and they're starting to stream out of my headquarters. Well, if I hit the number 2 or select it here, I can then select my next Grevit. Let's say this time I want to send a airborne fire Grevit. So I've done that. You can see that the circles, as they've been highlighted, reflect the discipline. And down here, you'll see that I have a creation bar that for each Grevit being created, you see the status indicator of building it, and then it just continues as long as I wish to send them. Now, in this case, I'm sending a water Grevit here and a fire Grevit here. I can see that indicated down here. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a couple of buttons of this dialog, resume all and pause all. Right now it's telling me that my total mana consumption for all my Grevits is using 6 mana and 60 units of Galvanite. I can go ahead and pause all of those, and you'll see over here on my HUD that each one of these has been selected to pause. I can go ahead and resume all of those as well. Now, for the particular Grevit generator I'm looking at, let's say I only want to pause Grevit Generator 1, I can select pause here and it will only pause that generator. So at any time I can come in and manage all of my generators from this one screen, get information about each one of them by simply highlighting over, and then select which ones I want to start sending. Now, whether clicking this X or hitting escape brings me out of that mode. And the other thing I'd like to show you is if I come down to my Grevits, depending on what you've done with your research capabilities, you'll see that I have the ability when I mouse over to get a highlight of a Grevit. Now, depending on how you've done your research, if I left click on a Grevit, I may have the ability to select a spell by discipline and have that spell be applied to my Grevit. There's different ones depending on if you based your character on Lydia or Bryson, and here I haven't researched enough to be able to obtain those spells, but I can do that simply by clicking on it. And as long as I'm going, you'll see that my Grevits will continue to go. Up here are my airborne ones that I've sent, and again, if I want to pause them, I can simply hit the number 2 and say pause that one. So that is an overview of creating and managing Grevits in Monoliths of Terravia.